Fans of the new Supra have been demanding Toyota to bring us a 6-speed manual. Well, they've actually listened. And just in time for the Nissan Z with its 6-speed manual and turbocharged V6 engine, Toyota is bringing the 6-speed manual back into the Supra. We haven't seen it since the Mark IV, now in the Mark V, finally bringing it into fruition, coming from Europe of all places. Well, I guess that kind of makes sense because the vehicle's built there, but this information is not coming out of Japan. It's not coming from the United States. It's coming from Europe. So we're over at a Toyota European newsroom coming out of Brussels. Coming soon, Toyota GR Supra manual transmission. Watch this space for more information in the coming weeks. So when would they likely fully announce this? Well, it could actually be in North America. So at the end of May, Toyota is having HQ Confidential 2022, what I call ToyotaCon 2022, and we are going to be seeing a ton of Toyota and Lexus news products, a lot of exciting stuff from them, but that would also be a perfect place for them to debut the manual transmission Supra. We have red Supra badges here. Now, we don't know if that's exclusive to the manual transmission or not. It could just be a 2023 model year. Now, they show the 3 different pedals, and yeah, the Supra, in my opinion, looks the worst. So not only is it going to be the most expensive manual out of the GR bunch, it's going to have the ugliest pedals, but that doesn't matter because you're not looking at your pedals while you're driving it. And if it really mattered, you could always switch out that pedal decoration yourself. Heading over to the simplest spreadsheets of all time, just the Z versus the Supra. Now we know for sure that they're both going to be manual transmissions, duking it out. So which one would you take? Would you take the 400 horsepower twin turbo V6 with the manual transmission, or the Supra 3-liter inline 6 from BMW with 382 horsepower? We know that it actually produces more than that. And they're going to be super quick cars. Now, I believe the 0 to 60 on the Supra is on the automatic, and I believe this is also going to be on the automatic twin turbo V6. We don't have official times, of course, for the Z yet, but stay tuned. I will be driving the Z this coming month. I'll be flying out to Denver to drive it. I'm super excited to drive it in the mountain roads. It's gonna be, the last time I was there, I was driving the Mazda MX-5 through the mountains. It was unforgettable. Anyways, super excited. To me, I'm still going for the Z. I think it looks better. It's designed and built in Japan, and it should cost less as well. So to me, the Z gets the win in my book, but we have so much other news to talk about today. If you made it this far in the video, smash the like button. You haven't. Subscribe if you're not for more Japanese and Korean auto news. Speaking of the Koreans, this new concept from Genesis, unveiled at the New York International Auto Show, is unbelievably beautiful. It does give me a little hints of like a smiley face in the front. All you have to do is put some googly eyes on the windshield and it looks like a car from the movie Cars. So this being a concept, it does give us a preview of what's coming in theory for Genesis, and they move quick on their concepts, as that's kind of an intrinsic quality to the Koreans right now. They don't dilly-dally. They give us products quick and very fast turnaround redesigns and refreshes. And we have that twin light coming all the way around, and they've even incorporated it into the grille now. This looks like their previous coupe concept, but this is more of a shooting brake. When I first saw it, I'm like, oh, you know, it's a 4 or 5 door sedan with a lift back, but no, it's actually like a 3-door. So what do you think? I think it looks amazing. There's nothing, a whole lot out there on the market that looks close to this. Maybe from Porsche would be the closest competitor that comes off the top of my head. Beautiful lines from the side. We have a nice little dip on the rear of the deck lid spoiler, but Genesis, please bring these models to market. You need to have a flagship model, in my opinion, and what better way to have it in a shooting brake or a really cool coupe-like vehicle. There's supposed to be another refresh on the R35 GTR. Go figure, right? They want to keep this vehicle around as long as possible. Look, I haven't heard anything in terms of a next generation Nissan GTR. For the refresh, we should be getting the fully digital MID like we have on the Z. We'll be getting a new touchscreen with new software that we see in a lot of Nissan products. The engine should be tuned to the Nismo specs, so we're talking 600 PS or a little bit less in terms of horsepower. The debut is supposed to be about a year from now, but we could get a teaser site at the end of 2022. We're also getting another refresh for the Lexus RC, in theory getting us a new RCF as well. Nothing major is going to change, but they're going to be reducing unsprung weight, kind of like the track editions already do. They're not going to change the 5-liter V8. They're not going to like supercharge it or anything. That would be amazing, but no, they're just going to reduce the weight as best as possible, increase the rigidity of the already pretty good RCF, but they've had to modify the hell of this thing, and they also modify it substantially for the GT3 racing class that it's in. We know that Toyota/Lexus will be replacing the RCF with some sort of GT3 specific racing car, kind of like the 911 GT3 exists. Well, in theory, they should be doing the same thing for Toyota Lexus. They've already shown us a concept of the vehicle, the GT3 racing concept, at the Tokyo Auto Salon. But we got to keep moving. Big news from Honda to focus on increasing hybrid volume with core models CR-V, Accord, and in the future Civic. So there's big news here talking about the cancellation of the Insight. Honda will end production of the Insight in Indiana as the company increases production of its core hybrid models. Now, Europe is getting this new Civic Hybrid, and it has a 2-liter naturally aspirated engine with a hybrid system with 181 horsepower and 232 pound-feet of torque. Of course, it's the EVT setup, but it's getting around 50 miles per gallon. I expect that exact same setup to come here to the United States probably a year or two from now. But Honda will introduce an all-new CR-V hybrid this year. Thankfully, we should be getting an all-new CR-V this year, and then probably an all-new Accord hybrid next year. We're also expecting the Honda Pilot to get a redesign by the end of this year as well. So Honda has a lot of things coming very soon for new products. It's pretty exciting stuff. The Insight, going back to the Insight, production is ending in June, and they're expecting the Accord hybrid and the CR-V hybrid to make up 50% of its sales mix in each model. That is a huge departure. I rarely ever see Accord or CR-V hybrids. And to give us an idea of what they produce already for the CR-V and Honda hybrids, we're looking at their sales highlights from Q1. So it looks like the CR-V hybrid makes up only about 23% of the total sales, and the Accord hybrid accounting for about 27% of the total sales. So they have to double their hybrid volume in the near future to make up about half of the total sales of the vehicles for hybrids. And hybrids will represent the top and best performing models in the lineup, as they should. Currently, right now, the hybrids are dogs behind the turbocharged variants in my testing, and definitely on paper too. They're slower for sure. So it looks like they're going to be attacking not only on the efficiency end, but on the performance end. So I'm really excited here to see what they're going to do. Does that mean the Civic hybrid here is going to be range topping? Well, actually, 181 horsepower is really similar to what they have in the inline-4 turbo that's not in the SI trim. So we're talking more torque, more power. So you can make the argument that even the new Civic hybrid is range topping if you don't include the sport variants, the SI and the Type R. That's all great for hybrids. So what does Honda have coming for electrified vehicles? Well, they're working with Sony, but the recent information on that is that it'll be a joint venture under a new brand name potentially. So Honda will be producing Sony's vehicles, and they'll be using Sony's sensors and technology in other Honda vehicles, probably Acuras and top-end Hondas. It's not going to be cheap technology by any means. But they've shared way more about their production with General Motors. By 2027, we'll have an HR-V-like small crossover that's supposed to be less than $30,000. We got the new Honda Prologue coming out. We don't know really anything about that vehicle. I'm assuming it's going to be a mid-size CR-V-like compact crossover sort of thing. And that will be in 2024, as well as Acura's rebadging of the Cadillac Lyriq. So it'll be very interesting to see Honda transform into a fully electrified brand by 2040. They're more aggressive than Nissan, than Toyota on those terms. So they got a lot to change in a very short amount of time, and General Motors is going to be a big part of it, but their hybrids are going to be specifically Honda made. Speaking of Honda and Acura is exiting the Chinese market officially only after 6 years. I reported on this, I don't know, a few weeks ago. It wasn't like the main topic of the video. They only sell about 15 to 7,000 vehicles per year in China, which is nothing, which is the largest market in the world for automobiles. So no surprise. Unfortunately, we're never going to get the CDX that came from China for the Chinese market, which was a luxury rebadging and upscaling of the Honda HR-V. It's still possible with the new HR-V coming out based off the new Civic. Look, the new Integra is based off the new Civic, so it would be fitting if Acura brings the ADX, or whatever they want to call it, a small compact crossover slide underneath the RDX, kind of like what China had in the CDX. There's also a refresh on the Subaru Outback. They're adding more plastic cladding to this vehicle. Looks like we're getting updated eyesight and updated multimedia system with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The WRX got a lot of extra plastic cladding. We know the wilderness editions of these vehicles get a lot of plastic cladding, so it looks like it's increasing. You see it underneath the front headlight here on the front bumper. Looking at the back, it does look like, to me, there's even more black plastic cladding on this vehicle. Looks like we get the upgraded large touchscreen system here. We still have the volume knob and tuning knob. Long live those knobs. Check out kkcarshop.com if you want to see my merchandise. We have a digital rear view mirror as well. But I'm going to end it there. Thank you guys so much for watching. A ton of news today. The big splash manual Supra. Finally, Toyota has listened. It's been 3 or 4 years since the Supra is coming on the market already, and they're giving us that manual transmission. Thank you, Toyota, and it will be a hell of a battle between you and the new Nissan Z. Bring it on. Let's go. I'll see you in the next video, and peace out.